Welcome to Roots and Wings. I'm Shawna Perrine, your host. This is a podcast where we talk about taking steps of courage. Whether you are thinking about taking that step of courage, you are in the middle of it, or you're avoiding it, this podcast is for you. Usually, I will be interviewing someone, so I will be bringing on a guest, whether it's like a friend, a stranger, or just anybody. I'm going to be interviewing people and asking them how they have taken those steps of courage in their lives and what that has done for them, and then what encouragement they have for you. So stay tuned. That's coming in the next couple weeks. So this week, before I start interviewing people, I wanted to share a little bit about who I am, what my story is, and I'll share a step of courage that I took in my life as well. So I am born and raised in Washington State, moved to California, was in California for about 10 years, and then ended up moving kind of all over the world for a couple years. Met my husband in Nashville, Tennessee. We dated long distance for a little bit, and then I moved to Nashville, and then we got married last year, and now we live in Nashville, Tennessee, and collectively, we've decided to start podcasts. So he's starting his own podcast, I've started this podcast, and we have started a podcast together. I would even say for us, that is a huge step of courage because we know nothing about what we're doing, and this has definitely been a growing process for us, but we're so glad that we've jumped in and are just taking those steps of courage. So a step of courage that I wanted to share with you guys today happened when I was 21 years old. And I think it's one of those moments where, you know, the saying where you can't connect the dots moving forward, but you can look back and connect the dots and see where it's taking you. This is definitely one of those moments. So I was 21 years old, living up in Bellingham, Washington, and just at that point in my education where I was about to apply to the next school. And so I had applied to a local school, a university, and had been rejected. And I think I put in another application. So I was still, pending to hear back if they would accept me the second time. But I had a phone call or a text message. I don't remember what it was, but a friend said, basically planted the idea of moving to California. And I jumped on it. I want to move to California. I'm born and raised in Washington, hate the rain, and the thought of sunny California just sounded so amazing. I, obviously had no idea what moving to California would entail, but I knew it would entail some money. Reached out to my parents, said, hey, parents, can I move home and work and save money to move to California? And they were, of course, they said yes. And so packed up everything, moved home, worked the summer, and then moved to California. But it was interesting too, because I don't remember if it was the day I made the decision to move to California or if it was like the day I was leaving Bellingham. I actually got accepted into that original school that I had first been rejected from and was wanting to go to. But at that point I was like, hey, I don't want that anymore. So I feel like there's a life lesson in that. Sometimes we think we want something and then we don't. So anyway, moved to California. I remember there were only a few people I knew down there. My best friend had a aunt, uncle, a cousin, and their kids, I think. And so I didn't know a lot of people. I'd only met them even once. And this was before the days of social media. Well, social media was around. I think I was boycotting social media at the time, so I didn't have it. But it was before the days of smartphones, so I didn't have a smartphone. I had just a normal, little phone. I think it slid up or something like that, and maybe it was touchscreen. But anyway, all that to say, I'm down in California by myself, just definitely pushing myself out of my comfort zone. It was like I wanted to shock my system and just see what would happen. I was just it's almost like my husband says it's like an adrenaline that you get of getting out of your comfort zone. I was full adrenaline. Let me just plop myself in the middle of nowhere and started going to school out there. But there was a day, I still remember this. There was a day I got out of one of my classes early, which was unusual. Most of the time your teachers don't just let you go early, but got out of class early and my friend's aunt texted me or called me and said, hey, are you available right now? Do you want to come out to lunch with us? There's a girl we want you to meet. She's around your age. which was so kind of them. They were trying to help me make friends because I didn't know anybody. It was like the old-fashioned connection, like let's connect this person, and I love that. So I went out to lunch, met this girl. She invited me to a young adults church event, and I went there, met another girl who, fast forward in my life today, introduced me and is the reason that I am good friends with so many of my good friends today. So all that to say that was a step. And then I honestly, like, the way life just kept going, I would say, like, me taking that step to move from my hometown, my home state, to a state that I knew nothing about. I didn't know anything about California, didn't know really what to do down there. I was just taking a risk and taking a jump. And this was, I feel like, before a lot of people were really moving around me. Like, most people just stayed where they were, and I moved. It's just one of the things. I'm like, would I be where I am today, the person I am today, married to my husband today? Like, I don't think so. I think that was a very pivotal moment in my life, and I took that step, and I'm so grateful that I did. I'm so grateful. There's plenty of steps that I have not taken, and I'm grateful for those too, because you are who you are today because of all of the yeses and the nos and the choices that you've made. But this would be my encouragement to you. If you are up against something that you are not sure what to do with, and you feel like you need that courage to take that step. I heard this the other day. It said, I'm the queen of overthinking. So we can overthink everything, right? If we could overthink everything, usually we go negative, right? Think of it this way. If you're going to overthink everything, why don't you just overthink it in the positive? Like, just go the other way. Just overthink positively of what if all these good things could happen? What if da-da-da-da-da? And don't be like wishful thinking, like overly, what's the word? I don't even know. But don't put your head in the clouds and not have your feet on the ground. That's the whole roots and wings, right? Be rooted and be excited to to dream big and to say, what if all these good things could happen? But also really just, it comes down to, I know for me, I'm a praying person. If you don't pray, this is a good opportunity. Why don't you just start talking to God, because he will change your life. But I always think of it this way. If you pray and you have peace, do it. And if you pray and you don't have peace, I wouldn't do it. So if that step of courage that you're trying to take, you don't feel peace about, I wouldn't do it. And I think, like, God gives us grace, and if we do something we're not supposed to, he's obviously going to pick us up and help us keep going. But that's just the way that I like to look at it, of pray. If you have peace, do it. Pray. If you don't have peace, don't do it. And sometimes we have peace and we still don't know what the path is ahead. I would say, even for my husband and I right now, we have a lot of things we feel at peace about, that we know the direction we're going, and we have no idea how to get there, and no idea. I guess I shouldn't say no idea. Like, we have ideas of how to get there, but we are definitely taking steps of courage in our lives every day, and just really making decisions that are life-changing. And we're excited about it because we know we feel at peace about it. We've prayed about it, and we are just going to charge ahead. So that is it for today. I'm excited to see you guys back next week. Next week, there will be a guest with me, so stay tuned. I hope this is encouraging to you. Send this to someone that needs to hear this today, and I will see you next week.